Hi, folks. Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of ShareNet. My name is Ian, and as promised, this season's topic is Meet the Team. And today I have Eileen joining us live at the studio. And thank you, Eileen. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much for inviting me to share. Hi, everybody. My name is Eileen Kelshoven, the Executive Assistant at the Richmond Centre for Disability, and I have been here since May the 14th, 2001.
2001.
Yes.
And you remember the exact date?
Yes, I do. I remember the date. I don't know why I remember the date because I don't remember any other dates. But
Okay.
it was, yes, I think why I remember the date was because, I was a new immigrant to Canada.
Okay.
And I'd been looking for a job for almost a year and a half.
Okay.
And, it just took so long to get a job here in Canada. And when I got the phone call to come in for an interview, that was great. And in those days, we were a very, very small organization,
Right.
not that many people employed. So I think when I started, there was the executive director, which was James Sullivan at
Right.
the time.
Yeah, it wasn't Ella back then.
It wasn't Ella back then, no. Then it was, and then Frances Clark was the
Chair.
she was the chair of the organisation. There was myself, then there was Ella, and there was a receptionist, and one or two other folk around.
So Ella was before you as well?
She started in the January, same year as I did.
Okay,
So
okay.
she started in January 2001, and I started.
Wow, you guys stuck around for a long time,
I started in the May 2001. Yes, because we immigrated here at the end of 1999. That's why I was thinking 1999 at the beginning.
Right.
But
It took you a
yes,
year and
it
a
took-
half,
yes,
roughly, right?
Yes, a year and a half, sending out lots of resumes, and you know what it's like searching for a job.
And back then, the idea of hiring a person with disability is not as open as now. Right?
No, it's not. It wasn't. Although a lot of the places that I applied to, they have that very popular saying, "We are equal opportunity."
That's right. Yes.
Not
that's
quite
true.
sure what that means, but anyway, it's got a lot better. So that's the beginning of my career at RCD.
So were you originally hired as the bookkeeper? Because your job evolved a lot throughout the years. Now you got like so many hats on you, I can barely see your hair.
When I first started at RCD, I was employed as the information and referral.
Oh, you're an INR.
I was INR,
okay.
which is not me. Sorry to say. And then we started doing the handicap parking placards.
Right.
So I was in charge of that as well, doing that. And as well as at that stage, the accounting department was pretty small.
Okay.
So I used to do all the bookkeeping as well for us. And I also, at one stage, I used to do the bookkeeping for RTES, which was Frances's other passion.
That's right.
The Richmond Therapeutic Equestrian Riding. So
wow, you're like running both places, kind of.
I used to do that as well. So yeah, it was very busy, very varied. But as a centre grew, with all the different projects that we were starting to get and all the programs we were starting to introduce for people with disabilities, the accounting department grew as well. Plus INR, it takes a lot sit time out of the day.
Definitely. You have to sit down, meet with clients and stuff like that. Sit
down, meet with people, do research, and research can take a long time. And that part of the job was very different to me because I'd never sort of worked in that kind of field before. I've always been in accounting in my previous jobs in South Africa and Zimbabwe. I've always been in accounts.
I see.
So I&R was quite different for me, and I'll be honest, I'm not the most patient person.
Yes, we all know Eileen.
So
you truly speak your mind.
So I chatted to James Sullivan at the time, and I said, I'm not the I&R person.
Right.
So then we got somebody else in.
I see.
And then the I&R department grew as well.
Right.
So, and I've focused more on doing all the accounting side of things.
Tell me about the early days of RCD. Back then, it wasn't even known as RCD, if I recall correctly.
If I remember correctly, it was the Disability Resource Center.
Right. DRC.
DRC.
Right. DRC, yeah.
And
I still have a hat.
Yes.
I think it was a yellow hat. Yeah,
it could have been.
Yeah.
Yes, DRC, which came under the Richmond Committee on Disability. That was a sort of governing body type thing.
Yeah.
And then down the line, we decided to change it to Richmond Centre for Disability. And I think it resonates a little bit better with our organisation and where we're located, you know. But as well, I think it also gives the impression that we only serve people in Richmond with disability, which is not the case.
Yep.
We serve anybody in the Lower Mainland, and
That's right.
anybody
if you can come into the centre,
wherever you're from. If you need resources or information, we are here to help. And if we haven't got it at our fingertips, we'll find it out eventually. Not me personally, but somebody will be able to help and find out the information you need.
So initially, how many staff were at the early days of, back then it was DRC? How many people were there?
Let me just think. There was the ED, there was myself, there was Ella, the receptionist. I think Teresa Head at that time.
Teresa was
awesome. Teresa Head was she was our receptionist at that time.
Cool.
And then we had Susan Hoogveld.
Okay.
She was I&R as well. And I think down the line, then you started coming on board, and then there was Viet.
Viet came first, right?
Yes, Viet was, I think, before you.
Yeah, and then Tom, myself, and then Tom.
Yes.
Right.
So, and then when I think Viet came on board about maybe a year or 2 years after I did, because he was with BCPA.
That's right.
And then he left there, and then he came to our organisation, to RCD, and he started up all the computer classes.
That's right. Right. And then we expanded in the technology side of RCD.
That's right.
And then,
yes.
So basically from 5 or 6 people on the staff team to like right now 15.
We're now about 15.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So things have really expanded, and then we were in a very tiny little office, you know.
I remember.
So all the programs and all the classes and everything, you know, there was a lot of juggling, because I think we had the computer lab and the one other resource room. That's where everything would happen.
Right. That was back on the.
It was on Minaroo.
It was on Minaroo. That's right. It was behind
the Driver Services Centre.
Back then it was the ICBC or the driver's.
That's right.
Yeah, driver's license place.
Which is no longer there. It's flattened.
Yep.
And I guess new offices. And then we moved across the road to our
the number 3 row office.
Yes, on the corner of number 3 in Lansdowne. And we were there from 2008 to 2019, end of 2018, I think, because I think we moved here to Lansdowne Mall beginning of 2019.
That's right.
I think so.
That's right. Now I remember from technology side.
Yes.
I remember getting our NAS in 2017, and we set it up in the old office.
That's right.
So and then I think a year later we moved. So
Was it-
it's
so it could be
roughly 2018.
2018, yeah, you're probably
Sorry,
right.
my
Yes.
my mind
Yeah.
is based on like how old the computers and the
Yes.
devices are.
Yeah, it's funny how we remember dates related to all sorts of things.
That's right. That's right.
Yes, and then we did a lot of activities at Number 3 Road
Oh yeah.
and Lansdowne. We had a lot of activities going, all varied stuff, and
I still remember the old place on Minoru. It's like
Yes.
there's like an L-shaped corridor.
that's right.
Yeah, it was
That's
so
right.
it was
Yes.
so weird, and then
Yes.
all the stuff that are like along the
That's right.
L-shape.
Yes, and we sort of shared that building with who was it? Community Living. Yes.
CLBC.
CLBC,
Oh,
yes.
we shared it with CLBC.
Well,
back then?
CLB, when you went down that one corridor, CLBC's offices and
Okay.
and programs were.
I
were
never
off
went
the one-
inside. I
were
think
off the-
I
off the one
remember on the
side.
stickers
Yes,
on the
yes.
door. I remember something
Because
like that.
it was always one of their doors to the washrooms.
That's
Because we all
right.
shared the same washrooms.
Oh, that's right.
Yes, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. So lots of changes since then. Yeah.
It was fun. It's good to see. Like back then, I can't believe I also started there in that
Yes.
tiny office, and
Yes.
we slowly grew to this size.
Mm.
But that's,
And then we also had George Meyer. Remember George?
right, yeah, I remember
Yes,
George.
he
He
was
was a
also-
video guy.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
he took
right.
videos.
Yes,
back then.
and he was also sort of IT stuff and
Yep.
all that kind of stuff. Yes.
That's right. Wow.
Yes, many changes since then. Yeah,
We came a long way for sure.
we have. Oh, absolutely. The programs that we offer people, when they first started coming to RCD, and they take part in recreation things and
Knowledge
English
base and then
knowledge
group
base and
activities, social.
when you see how they were when they first started with us to where they are today, I think, not being too boastful, I think we've got to take our hats off, because some of the people their improvement is just exponentially fantastic.
Some of our participants,
yes.
we literally,
Our participants, yes.
yeah, our participants, they are kids when they first came in.
Exactly.
And now they're,
yes.
Working on fancy computers and
yes.
stuff like that,
Yes, and the one participant that always sticks in my mind is Lynn, Annie's daughter.
Right, yeah.
When she first started coming to RCD, she was as quiet as a mouse.
Yeah.
And she wouldn't even say hello to you. And now she talks and
yeah,
hi
yeah.
and how are you, and
she's helping out at the thrift
and
store
she's
now.
helping out at the thrift store. And yes, Lynn always sticks in my mind. She's just fantastic.
Now, another question I have is regarding the rewarding moments and the challenges that you face. So let's talk about the rewarding moments. Why have you, been with RCD for so many years? What draws you to it? What do you think was the rewarding moments?
Well, where I lived in South Africa and Zimbabwe, at that time I was living there. To see people with disabilities out and about was very few and far between. It was sort of, you were hidden away.
Right. Yep.
A small percentage of people were out and about, but the biggest majority, they were either in institutions
Right.
or special schools or that kind of thing. But that is one thing that opened my eyes when I came to Canada, was it didn't matter what kind of disability you had, what your ability was, you were out and about in the community.
That's right.
And that's really what
The independent living philosophy,
the
basically.
independent living philosophy.
Yeah.
That's really what opened my eyes here, and how much RCD contributes to people being able to go out into the community because of what we do. And we do a lot of things behind the scenes that probably maybe a lot of people don't know about. All the fundraising we do to keep our centre going, and all the projects we get involved with, and the employment program, and that really helps, because a lot of people with disabilities, if they don't know where to turn, they're not going to do anything with their life.
Yep.
Whereas having our centre available to them and the resources we offer people, it just gets everybody out to, realise their potential.
That's right. And they get to fully participate in the community.
That's it.
And that's what the philosophy is about.
That's right. That's totally true. And it's not. And the thing is, the rest of society and the community, they accept people with disabilities
and
now.
they evolve. They slowly evolve.
And it evolves.
And,
yes.
And now they're accepting more and more ideas.
That's right. And it gives the community sort of food for thought as to how they can maybe help or participate or maybe volunteer with, our organisation or another organisation for people with disabilities. So, getting out there into society, I think that's what contributes to people with disabilities being integrated into society.
And that is the rewarding moment that you
absolutely
felt when you were working out.
Yes, that's what because, not that I deal a lot with the participants that come through our door, but just hearing, our staff talk and, this participant has done this and this one has got a job and that one is this thing, that's fantastic.
Absolutely.
That is fantastic.
All right. Now, just like any jobs, there are always challenges. Can you name a few challenges that you have experienced here?
The challenges depend on how you tackle them. Okay. If you see it as a challenge, it's going to be a challenge. That is my sort of way of thinking about things. And challenges, you just face head on. I think the most challenging part is just making sure RCD has enough finances to carry on doing what it's doing. And I think that applies to any non-profit organisation. It's not like money just flows in from nowhere. You've got to do a hell of a lot of fundraising, get projects, say government projects, all sorts of projects to keep your organisation going and to progress.
That's right.
That's one thing you don't want to get stagnant just because something works for 1 or 2 years. You don't just stick with it. Try and expand on that and introduce something new. And I think that's what we've done. Yeah, I mean, look at us when the COVID pandemic was on, and we were all sort of confined to wherever we were.
Work from home.
Yes, work from home. I mean, look what RCD did with all the Zoom activities and classes and all.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, we just had to.
Yep.
I mean, if we didn't do that, our doors would probably have closed.
Absolutely. I think it was a big challenge. Like,
it was.
We were a physical center, and all of a sudden we have to change it to a virtual center. Oh, that was tough, even for participants.
Look at all the
us.
IT stuff you had to do, And I mean, and for the rest of us, we weren't used to it, and all of a sudden, okay, now work from home.
Yep. Everybody on Zoom now.
Yes, everybody on Zoom, and I will be honest, I can be technically challenged sometimes, and click on the wrong thing, but you learn.
Yep.
You learn by these challenges, and I think that's what COVID did especially for all our organisation, because look how much I think all of us learned.
Oh yeah.
All sorts of things that we never thought we were capable of.
Absolutely.
We could always learn a lot more, but yes,
Yeah.
you never stop.
Good job on all of you, right?
You never stop learning. Every, even if it's the smallest you might think it's the stupidest thing ever. It's a tiny thing, and gee, I didn't know that. And wow, you've learned something today, even if it's a small thing.
Absolutely.
Always learning. Yeah.
All right. So this, did you know we've talked for 20 minutes? I
Have we
told you,
really?
yeah. I told you 10 minutes. It's now 20
Okay.
minutes. Now, is there anything you would like to add before we wrap up?
Well, as everybody knows, I'm retiring at the end of the year, and I absolutely will. I will miss coming to work, but it's now time to hang up my calculator,
Yep.
and I am going to do what I want to do.
Absolutely.
So, yes, I'm looking forward to retirement, but it's not to say I won't be visiting the office and coming to say hello, and I might even come and take some of your classes.
Hey, I think that's a great idea.
Take your iPad class. I think I've taken your iPad class about 4 times and only managed the first 1 or 2 lessons, and then I've got so busy I've missed the rest.
Sounds good. Eileen.
Yes,
Sounds
and
good.
I know RCD will go from strength to strength. So,
Thank
wishing
you.
everybody well.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And you're not going right away, so I think you're going to be gone after December. Is that right?
Yes. I will probably be going sometime in January. We haven't fixed a date yet. There's so much to organise because we bought a motorhome, a second-hand motorhome
Right.
in
Oh, you're
2019,
traveling around.
just before the pandemic. And of course, the last 2 years we haven't had a chance to use it. But this year we've just gone away for a couple of weekends for practice, because there is so much to learn with these things. It's scary.
Yeah,
It's-
you think learning a computer is difficult? The thing about a mobile home, right?
It's scary. I mean, already we've driven off with the electric wire attached to the
Oh my goodness.
not just once, about twice.
Oh man.
So checklists a mile long before you even head off.
That's good. You're
So
practicing first.
So that's my job, doing all the checklists.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You gonna
I
have a
think-
fun trip.
Yes, we will. We will.
All right, folks. Thank you for joining us today. Remember to like and subscribe our videos, and I'll see you next time in about 2 weeks' time. Have a good one. Bye. now.
Bye-bye. Bye, everybody.
Thanks, Eileen.
Thanks. Okay.